I'm emotionally intelligent. And I was just like, ah, really interesting.
It's not that I want you here. Yeah. It's not the way you stare into my eyes. I know that I can make things clear.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing okay and everyone is doing well. Today we are back for another Love Island review, episode 4 to be precise. I definitely do feel like this episode gave. Yesterday was a tad boring, but today definitely picked it up. So we have a lot to unpick and unpack in today's review. So as I usually and I always say, number one, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe. We're currently on the road to 25k. And second of all, get cozy and comfy before I've been out in your snacks, and let's get into this review. Alrighty, so let's start off with Liam going on a date. As you guys know, the public, I'm doing that because I don't know if the public actually voted for Liam to go on both dates, or the producers made us think that the public voted when they actually were the ones that called for Liam to go. Anyway, that's just my theory. But of course, as you guys know, Liam was chosen to go on a date with Ekin-su and Afia. Number one, I did think it was actually quite cute how the guys were kind of like egging him on, like, yeah, Liam, yeah. Even Liam himself, he was doing up catwalk as he was walking up to the girls, which was really cute. I did note down that I do actually think that Liam is actually quite awkward, and it definitely did show during the dates. I also picked up on this and I tweeted it as well, that he was low-key trying to give voice. Like, the way Liam was speaking on the date is not the way he's been speaking since he's joined that villa. He was just like, yeah, I'm Liam, yeah, I'm from Wales, yeah, like, bro. Even to the extent I said, is he whispering? Because it's like, I can't hear you. So I definitely feel like it kind of echoes what a lot of girls already know about guys, which is that they do try to put on a voice to try and sound a bit more attractive. So it was actually quite nice to see that, but at the same time, just hella awkward. First impressions of Afia, I do feel like she's okay. We only did get to see her for a bit of this episode anyway, but I think first impressions, I do actually like her. I think she comes across as being quite outgoing, very outspoken, and also very confident as well. So I guess it was quite nice to see that two new girls have joined the villa and they both come across as being extremely comfortable and also confident as well. Moving on to Ekin-su, she's 27 and she is an actress. First impressions, very confident, and we definitely see that as the episode does go on. One thing that Liam done, which any guys, you should never do this, okay? You should actually never do this. On the first date, you're asking a girl for her age. That is literally in the book of no to do's on a first date, so that was quite interesting. But as they were on their date, we're going to go back to the villa, and in the villa we were getting to the scene of Gemma and Davide having a conversation. I laughed. I definitely laughed 100%, because I have already said this anyway, I don't think they are going to last. I think they are just physically attracted to one another. But Gemma asked Davide, describe me in 3 words, and I promise you could hear the crickets in the villa. Like, the camera was literally zooming in and Davide was just like, I think I like the fact. And that's when I was like, yeah, this thing is not lasting at all. So I think it was very awkward, very quiet as well. I also don't feel like they have any substance, which is why I don't feel like they are going to get on together, or even if they do, I don't think they're going to last. And you guys already know how I feel about that age thing anyway. And some of this say it's not necessarily about the age gap, it is about their ages, because if she was in her 20s, it wouldn't be deemed as that bad. But 19 and 27 still for me doesn't give, and it's not going to give. Thank you very much. So let's move on to Paige and Luca talking. So Paige and Luca were speaking about their lists, and I don't know why this is such a big thing in this season of Love Island, where they're like, oh, who's your top 3, like who's your number 1? But they were having a conversation, and Paige confessed that Luca is her number 1, and Luca also confessed that Paige is his number 1 as well. They definitely do have a spark, so it'll be quite interesting to see if that progresses as the season goes on. Sounds so serious when I do these reviews, and I absolutely love it. Let's move on to Amber and Dami. As you guys know, in yesterday's episode, they ended up kissing. So Amber was just informing the girls, what had happened, and Dami was speaking to Ikenna. As much as I was happy that got screen time, at the same time, I feel like we just need to know more. Like, even the way Dami and Ikenna were walking, you can tell that there probably is a very brotherly love between them, but we don't get to see scenes of their friendship developing. So I think it would be really nice for Love Island to kind of give us more scenes of how these friendships are developing in the villa, because clearly they are there for them to be able to openly speak about both of them kissing. So I think that's actually quite interesting. Moving on. So moving on, Liam of course makes his way back with Ekin-su to his left and Afia to his right, and instantly the boys are going crazy. Davide was looking, he was just like, wow. Luca's like, wow. I was thinking, Davide, is that you talking? You don't want Gemma over there, babe? What's going on? So Ekin-su and Afia are of course sitting down there by the fire pit and they're just having conversations with everyone. So everyone is asking them questions, but also they are asking questions as well. And one thing I really liked about Ekin-su and Afia's addition in the villa is they come across as being very confident. Not to say that the girls prior haven't really been too confident, but they are coming like, literally, they're coming with questions. They want you to know this, they want you to know that, that's my type, that's this, that's that. So I feel like the confidence that they actually did bring to the villa was very much needed and very much necessary. And we of course know that they are going to try and cause some drama, which is what we love, alright? That's why we're tuning in at 9 PM every single night. Don't know why I sounded like that, but whatever. So everyone's just speaking. Afia and Ekin-su asked them, you know, who are you in a couple with? What exactly is going on? Who are you in a situation with? And it was quite interesting, but Gemma was awfully silent, you know, giving a lot of side eye. I think Ekin-su did say that Davide was, you know, kind of like her type, and Gemma's just there like, and I'm just thinking, babe, speak up, because you've been speaking for the past 3 episodes. I mean, speak up. You feel a bit intimidated there. But I wouldn't be surprised if she did feel intimidated, because Ekin-su and Afia come with a lot of confidence. And I guess she sees Ekin-su as low-key being her competition, because she's very open, out there, confident, and she's grown as well. She's 27. So maybe she does feel a bit threatened in terms of the age gap thing, because she's 19 at the end of the day. So, yeah. So the next scene is the girls around the fire pit and they're speaking to Ekin-su. And Ekin-su made a very, very, very valid comment. And I was actually quite happy that she did, because I find that on these shows, people try to kind of create like, you know, girl codes. And it's not saying it's not a bad thing to have friends, okay? It's a good thing to have friends. But at the end of the day, this is not Friendship Island, this is Love Island. So Ekin-su said, yeah, like I'm not really here to like make lifelong friends. I'm definitely on this island to find love. And some of the girls were looking a bit sideways. Some of them were feeling a bit funny and also looking a bit funny. But I don't feel like there was a reason for them to look any type of way. Like, guys, we're actually on a game show. We're actually contestants. So if she says that she doesn't necessarily want to make lifelong friends and she wants to find love, no one should feel any type of way. I think if anything, it's a sign for everyone to wake up. I definitely feel like it's a sign for everyone to wake up. What was also quite interesting was, of course, they were saying their ages, and Gemma said that, you know, she's 19. And why did I say 19 like that? Anyway, Gemma said she's 19, and Ekin-su was like, oh my gosh, like you're like my little sister, you know, I can give you advice and stuff like that. And it rubbed Gemma off the wrong way. Personally, I get why it can be patronizing. It's like when people saying, oh, you're so young, you're just like, actually I'm an adult. But this girl is almost 10 years your senior. Like, this is anti-Ekin-su to you. So I don't know if she should have felt triggered by that. Like, yes, you are 19, but if you're so confident in your age and everything, just walk in it. Just walk in that source and walk in that confidence. So when she was like, oh, I didn't really like that comment, I feel like it was a bit patronizing. Like, you're 19 at the end of the day and she's 27. So yeah, it is anti-Ekin-su to you. Let's move on to the following morning. So of course the girls are speaking about Ekin-su and Afia, kind of giving each other an opinion and also like an update on how they feel about them. One thing that Gemma did that 100% irked me was when she was like, Ekin-su. Clearly you knew her name, you were trying to be funny, no one picked up on it, number one. And number two, I did already mention this in, I think it was yesterday's video or the video before that, when Indiyah pronounced Ikenna's name wrong. I'm ready and willing to draw anyone out for mispronouncing names. It's a problem that many people have when it comes to cultural names and names that are so not traditional. Just learn the name. I just think it's very, very, very immature, and on top of that as well, it's just mannerless. It's just mannerless to not know people's names and to not learn them. Ekin-su and Afia are cooking for the guys. When I say they are here for blood, when I say they are here for blood, I think they said they're going to make like protein pancakes or something. And I just said, yeah. These girls understand the assignment. They understand the assignment, and they're bringing the drama that we are all tuning into Love Island for every single night at 9 PM. They're bringing the drama that we need. So let's move on to Afia and Ekenna having a chat and asking him about him and Indiyah. And he basically said that, yeah, you know, he's in a couple with her, but he is open to knowing more people in the villa. Unless we are actually missing scenes, what was quite interesting was even with the conversation that Afia had with Ekenna, there was just so much personality. Like, we were able to see Ekenna laugh, crack jokes, ask questions, reply, like so much personality. So unless Love Island are not giving us scenes to show him and Indiyah's progression, I do feel like Afia and Ekenna actually did have quite a good chat between them. So moving on to Gemma and Davide, they had a brief conversation about how things are going. What was quite interesting was Davide did actually bring up the age thing. So he was like, oh, I hope you don't have a problem with, like, you know, do you have an issue with dating older men? Do you think the age gap is an issue? And she said no, that she does date up anyway. anyway. So I think it was quite interesting that he mentioned that, because maybe because of Ekin-su's presence in the villa, he's starting to kind of realize that maybe you are actually quite young and there are girls who are closer to my age who are also in this villa. So I think that was actually quite interesting, but Gemma did insist that she does date up, so it isn't a problem for her. Let's move on to Ekin-su speaking with the girls, and then her and Davide at the gym. Okay, I like Ekin-su's confidence. I feel like she's 100% bringing the drama into the villa. I just don't want it to come across like she's doing too much to try and seem like, you know, I'm here to take your man. Like, just be calm with it. Do you get what I mean? Like, at first it was like, oh yeah, drama. But now it's like, okay, a lot's going on, babe, calm it down. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, I do like her inclusion in the villa. I just don't want her to come across as being like overly thirsty, if that makes sense, and like just really desperate. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Let's move on to Dami and Indiyah speaking. Like, just as I said before, Ikenna and Afia went for a talk prior, and I guess at this point Indiyah's kind of deep in, yeah, I actually need to wake up because the person I'm in a couple with may potentially recouple with someone else. And as you guys know, there is going to be a recoupling at the end of the week, and whoever is left vulnerable or just standing there is going to have to leave the villa. So I think it was quite nice to, number one, see that Indiyah was now starting to think about Ikenna a bit more and kind of understand if this is something that she does want to pursue or take further. But also quite nice as well was the fact that Indiyah felt comfortable speaking to Dami about this as well. So like I said, I do hope that Love Island are just not cutting scenes out for the sake of it, and they are actually showing us meaningful friendships that are being built and made in Love Island as well. So yeah, I was happy that Indiyah woke up. I said yeah, she's awake. So let's move on to Ekin-su and Andrew. So as you guys know, Ekin-su and Andrew ended up going for a chat, and like I said, she's definitely there for blood 100%, but I just don't want her to come across as being thirsty or just being overly dependent on the fact that she definitely needs to couple up with someone. Like, she should just be chilled about it, you know. Keeping it cute and mute and a bit mysterious is the way to get people sometimes, okay? Sometimes. But yeah, they were having a conversation, and he was basically speaking about how his type is usually brunettes and short. And when he said that, I was like, okay, but Tasha is low-key the complete opposite. Tasha is definitely blonde. Tasha definitely has some height to her, so that's quite interesting. So I don't know if he said that because that is his actual type, or if he said that because maybe he's speaking to Ekin-su and I guess she low-key falls into that bracket. So last but not least, before we move on to the evening, let's speak about Gemma speaking to Indiyah and Amber. So I guess Gemma has now started to realize that Ekin-su may actually be my competition, and I need to make sure that I play things safe, and maybe I shouldn't just put all my eggs in one basket, and I shouldn't just keep Davide at the forefront of my mind. So she now told Indiyah and Amber that she wanted to actually get in touch with Luca a bit more, because she feels like, you know, he seems okay, he is her type, and she does find that when they are around each other, like, she does laugh at his jokes and things like that. At first I didn't know how Amber and Indiyah were taking her comments. At first, when they panned the camera to Indiyah, she kind of looks like okay sis, but then Indiyah did actually give advice and was like, you know what, do what you think is best for you at the end of the day. So Gemma basically made up her mind that she is going to try and get to know Luca, and we are going to find out more about that in the evening. So let's move on to the evening time, and as you guys know, Love Island love to do games to try and get the contestants speaking, try and get some answers to some unanswered questions, and basically just get things brewing in the villa to try and get things moving. So they played the bear pong game. Personally, I'm so not a fan of this, just the transfer of saliva. Like, I'm a germaphobe. The transfer of saliva from mouth to mouth doesn't really give, like, how can you give a question and say, oh, snog? That's another thing as well. I don't like the word snog. I think it sounds very like wham. Like, I can't explain it, but it just sounds very like, yeah. But anyway, yeah, telling someone to snog 3 of their favorite islanders and then everyone's just transferring. Anyway, I digress. So let's get onto the main things that happened in that game that I guess we can speak about. Paige and Andrew kissed each other for the boyfriend and girlfriend material questions. I thought that was very interesting, only because Paige is of course coupled up with Luca and Andrew is of course coupled up with Tasha. When Paige originally kissed Andrew for boyfriend material, I was like, oh, okay, they did already say they'd ish liked each other, but it's fine. But when Andrew went to Paige for girlfriend material and the person you're in a couple with is right there, I said, okay, that's very interesting. Moving on to Afia. Afia was supposed to kiss someone who she fancied, and of course she ended up kissing Ikenna. I said, yeah, Yeah, but luckily Indiyah is awake, so I don't know if that will progress even further. So last but not least, let's speak about Luca pulling Gemma for a chat. He basically said he wanted to get to know her. He took her to the terrace and they were just speaking to one another. I don't know if it's just me, but I do feel like Gemma does look for a lot of opportunities to kind of speak about her family. I don't know what it is. I don't know if she has confessed that Michael Owen is her dad, and in case you don't know, he is an ex-professional football player. So yeah, I guess that's quite interesting. But they basically confessed to each other that, you know, they are quite interested in one another, they're quite attracted to one another as well, and maybe there is a potential for something to work. What was actually quite interesting was Davide's reaction whilst he was in the villa with the guys. One thing that definitely highlighted to me is the fact that boys give terrible advice, okay, because the boys were not giving good advice, but Davide was basically saying that he was really triggered at the fact that Luca didn't pull him to the side to let him know that he is interested in Gemma. I'm emotionally intelligent, and I was just like, really interesting. But he did say he is emotionally intelligent, so he's able to read up on these things. Personally, I didn't really like Davide's response to the whole situation itself. Okay, I do understand that you are on a couple with this girl, but it was low-key just given a tad possessive, like, oh, that's like, where are your balls? Like, how can you do that? How can you this? I'm emotionally intelligent. Even Liam wouldn't do that. Even this wouldn't do that. And it's like, okay, cool. It's been 72 hours. It's really been 72 hours. Relax, okay? Relax. So guys, that is the end of our episode 4 review. Overall, I definitely feel like Ekin-su and Afia were a great addition to the villa. I feel like people did feel quite bored yesterday, but today things kind of picked up, so it kind of showed the drama that people are very much into and the reason why many people do watch Love Island anyway. In terms of Ekin-su, I do really like her and her confidence. I just didn't want her to come across as being too thirsty or just too out there trying to get the guys to like her. Like, just be yourself. You don't want to come across as being overly desperate. In terms of Afia, I do really like her vibe as well. I think she does seem quite chilled but also quite confident. In the beginning of the episode, she kind of came across like she was Ekin-su's assistant. So it was nice to see her kind of speaking out a bit more and also voicing her opinion as to who she's interested in in the villa. Be very interesting to see if there is a potential connection between her and Ikenna, and also see where that leaves Indiyah in the whole situation as well. But yeah, as always, I'd love to hear you guys' feedback in the comments below, so please let me know what you thought of that episode as well. As always, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe. We're doing these reviews every single night until Love Island ends. And also, if you haven't yet followed me on my socials, please be sure to as well. But other than that, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Please do take care, and I'll see you in the next one.